Steve and Carlos Show. Your hosts, Steve Scott and Carlos Martinez.
I love that little intro. It's so good.
So cool. Carlos is totally jazzing it up. So thank you for that, Carlos. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? It is Tuesday, and it's time for our Agent Spotlight. We have a very unique guest with us today. I'm excited to bring you one of our KW Stanford agents. He's been around for quite some time. Him and his family had a little team here, and were very accomplished. So Mr. Ken Delmar is an accomplished artist and author. So excited to share those talents with you today. He has relatively recently written a book called Winning Moves, Body Language for Business. And my understanding is that it's for business people with a focus on sales, presentation, and negotiation. And a quote from Ken is, "To be a winner in today's business world, you need an dimension. Edge." And Ken is here to share with us what that edge is and tell us more about his book. So Ken, take it away, my friend. You're on.
Yeah, I thought it said I was muted. I guess I'm not muted.
You're not.
All right. Am I doing my whole pitch now or just saying hi?
No, go ahead. Tell us, you got your 10 minutes, so tell us what you can about your book and have the relevance to these guys as salespeople.
Excellent. All right. Well, let me start with a commercial. This is the book. It's available on Amazon right now. The book is $13.95. It's available as an ebook for $3.50. That's a mere $3.50. Or if you're too lazy to read, you can get the audio book, which is $19.95.
Good deal.
End of commercial. Well, I've given this presentation as an hour-long thing, a 2-hour, 3-hour to thousands of people. But today, I think I'm just going to be able to do one piece of it, which may be the most important part of it anyway. And that is to help build confidence. My editor at Warner Books, when the book was first published, asked me, if you had to strain this book down to one word, what would that word be? And I said, confidence. So I use keys that I've created to help people get more confident and to do that very quickly. So the first key is called the URY. And I even have old school, I'm going old school on you, a card, so in case you're not able to take notes or I'm slurring my words or the Wi-Fi gets unstable.
That's very helpful.
It's URY key, and it stands for up, relax, and yes. Now, what that means is up is your posture. So, you know, we all tend to slump in our chairs and slink down a little bit. And the trick is you want to stand as tall as you can. So picture somebody grabbing the top of your head by your hair. If you don't have any hair, maybe picture them grabbing your ears and lifting up. So you can feel your spine straightening out and you can feel you're actually taller if you stand properly. And that enables you to get more airs in your lung. And that enables you to speak better and clearer. So that's the U of the URY key is up. So your whole posture, even if you're sitting, you have to let it come up. The R is relax. Especially if you're going into an important presentation or an important listing presentation or meeting, you tend to be more nervous because this could be a big impact on your income. So you have to consciously suggest to yourself that you must relax. Sometimes people in California take vitamin B complex, which is called a natural trank. And all of the things that are used, if you go on the internet and put in stress reduction into Google, there's like thousands of ways to address stress and reduce it. That's what the R stands for. The Y in URY, it stands for yes. And that looks at your attitude. Your attitude is positive. Everything is positive. And so a question comes up, even if it's testing negative, and you come up with some way to turn that positive. So you never say anything negative, or try not to even think it, and don't let it creep into your expression or your body language. So with those three keys, before you go into your meeting, or when you get up in the morning and you're getting ready to do business, you run the URY through your head, and you get up, you relax, and you let enthusiasm show through and your energy. It's in the yes part. The next important key is called the personal courage key. And the personal courage key is something in your memory or in your past, or something you can conjure up that suggests courage to you. So when I say personal, it's different for every person. It might be JFK, it might be you yourself, it might be General Patton, it might be Superman, it might be your Uncle Sid. Whatever quickly suggests to you courage or bravery, and it could be a word or an image. So let's say in high school, you did something really amazing. You scored the winning goal. And in that moment, you felt tremendous. You really accomplished something that was important to you. If you can conjure that up in your memory, bring that memory back, and it comes very quickly, and it should be very short, that is your personal courage key. So after you run the URY, up, relax, and yes, and then you focus on your personal courage key. And this is a matter of seconds. So whatever it is, for me, it was a moment that in high school that was great and significant to me. And I did score a winning touchdown. And I'm not even a great football player. It was just that moment. And I was floating. My feet were not touching the ground in that moment. And I'm able to conjure that up as quickly as you can conjure up any memory. So now you have the URY key, the personal courage key, and I'm going to give you another card that what you have created at that point is the super you. The super you is you, but it's a special you. And it's a you that you've conjured up with this URY key and the personal courage key. And now that super you is ready to go out and do battle, do business. The next thing I'm going to give you to help you be confident, and this is really tremendous. It's called buy before you sell. So what does that mean? Of course, is that if you think about it, why are con men good at what they do? What are they doing? What does that mean? Well, con stands for confidence. The reason they're confident about what they're selling you or presenting to you is they've sold it to themselves. So if let's say you're going to do a listing presentation, and you want to convince that couple that you are the right agent to list their house. Before you do that, you have to convince yourself, because essentially and primarily you're selling yourself. Before you start talking about the things you're going to do to sell the house, the marketing you do, the brilliant, clever ideas you are extra and above, you have to convince yourself that you are the absolute best agent to list that house. And you can do that, and you take the time to do that. And you sell to yourself, you sell yourself just as you would to a prospect. And you do that until you really believe it. When you really believe it, you're ready to go into that meeting. So before I won't have any time to get into the specific tactics and techniques in a presentation this short. So I'm just going to say one other important thing to you, and that is about listening. there's a cue to let you know when you should stop talking and listen. And that is when your prospect's mouth starts to open, your mouth closes. I don't care where you are in your script, because what the prospect has to say at that point is always more important than what you're saying. You can always go back and pick up where you left off, but the prospect says at any point is more important than what you're saying and where you are in your script. And when you do listen, I want you to remember the prospect should be able to see both of your ears. You should not be turning your head to the side. Women tend to do this a lot more than men, which is they tilt their head to the side. That is a strong position. It's less powerful than just being head on, straight on, your shoulders leveled up to the person you're talking or persons you're talking to. And then of course you want to have good, steady eye contact. Do not look up or down. If you need to look away, if the person you're talking to has a very powerful hair with very powerful eyes, and you just are dying to look away because you're trying to remember stuff, don't look up. If you're trying to think about something, don't look down. Looking up, you look like an idiot. You just lost your mind. And looking down looks like you're apologizing or guilty, or you're not really believing what you're saying. So try not to look up or down. If you need to look away, left or right. So those are the basic, the fundamental pieces of what you'll find in Winning Moves. Obviously, over 270-page book, there's a whole lot more, and I won't go into details now. But you may have some questions, and I don't know if it works, Steve.
Yes.
But if anyone does, they can ask them now.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Ken. That's great. Tell us, just real quick, Ken, tell us about your background and what inspired this book.
Well, I operated a production company in Manhattan for 20 years, and we did a lot of films for major corporations and a lot of sales for those companies. And so I had 2 editing rooms, from one to the other, and see what each editor was working on. I started to notice that the hot salespeople, the really effective salespeople, were doing things with their gestures, their expressions, their proxemics, which is your distance from the people you're talking to, the speed of their movements, the vocal tonal presentation, how they spoke. And so I started to make notes. I noticed that when you point at somebody, they blink. And that became very important because a lot of people were pointing at prospects while they were talking to them. People don't like being pointed at. So I started to make notes, and my wife, Uli, was kind enough to type them up to make a booklet to go with the video. So hold on one second. Yeah, right. My wife says that I was also a successful real estate agent. Yes, when I went into real estate in 2000, I was Rookie of the Year. And that was really mainly because I was very confident. So as I was saying, when I was feeding these notes to Uli to make a booklet to go with a video, she said it's not a book anymore when she hit page 175. So that's how my notes turned into a whole big fat book.
That's great. That's awesome. That's really, Ken, this is hugely relevant to all of us. And I see some of the comments in the chat that everybody's thanking you, that they appreciate how awesome you are and for being so upbeat all the time, and that they want to buy the book. Does anybody have any questions for Ken? Nobody? Well, feel free.
Ken, I have a question.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, my question. So I noticed when I'm giving a listing presentation, I'm trying to think, I do look up I hardly ever look down, but I do look up a lot. What's the alternative when you're trying to think of something?
You look left or right. If you need to look somewhere, see, I'm looking to my side now, and I'm looking over to the other side. You can do that till the cows come home. It's also a good way to break eye contact if you're in a presentation with a guy who's hitting on you and you're trying to gently turn him off. You can look away to one side or the other. That it doesn't look like you suddenly lost your thought or you've gone insane, but it allows you to focus on something other than the other person's face. So now you have time to recoup your thoughts.
Interesting. Real good question.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Thanks, Jen.
You bet.
Anybody else? Question for Ken? If not, Ken, I'm going to talk to you offline, and maybe we'll see if we can bring you back for one of your condensed classes. Maybe we could have 45 minutes or an hour of your time to really dive into this.
Right. Yes, I'm happy to. In fact, I'm glad to a live presentation after the COVID-19 virus has abated.
Sure.
Put me on your dance card to come by and give a presentation of winning moves.
Great. No, we appreciate it. Thanks so much for being here, Ken. It was great.
You bet. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Adonis, you got something for us with Mr. Marty Miller?
Yes, sir. Awesome job, Ken. What a master of what he does. Marty Miller, we're on day 22. We're 1/3 of the way done. So everyone who's been sticking with this thing, your business will thank you for it. Today, we're going to talk about splitting and combining documents on DocuSign. Did you know you could do that? If not, listen to Marty.
Good afternoon, Keller Williams, and welcome back to the KW Command 66-Day Challenge 3.0. We have been working on opportunities here for the last several days, and we're going to go back into opportunities and cover today a really cool ability within DocuSign to split PDF formats and combine PDF documents, excuse me, not formats, but documents. So let's dive into our test opportunity here. Here's the opportunity card that we have been working on previously. We're going to touch on documents, and we're going to go into the transaction, which has already been linked previously to DocuSign. Typically, it's going to make you sign in to DocuSign or sign out, and yet here is the DocuSign room that we had previously created with documents loaded into it. So let's say we put together all of these documents and we want to send it off. Well, actually, I take it back. Let's think about a use case where a lot of times you get an offer in, right? And you get it from the agent, and it's one document with 26 pages in it, for example. And everything looks good except for one piece, right? So you send back an invitation to resubmit or an email or however you're doing your counter offer, and you get that one corrected document back. So let's figure out how we would take out one page, replace it with another page, and recombine. So we want to split, we want to remove a document, we want to add a document, and then we want to recombine that document into one. So I'm just going to use the 1 to 4 family residential contract here as an example. I'm going to click on this dot in the top left-hand corner, right? And the first thing that I want to do is actually right-click the document. And you see when I right-click it, I have an opportunity to choose split. So when I click on split, it pulls out all of the pages. So you can see the 9 pages. Sometimes I negotiate terms in a contract and I get back just that one page that has been either initialed or signed or addressed or whatever it may be. So let's say everything looked good on all of the pages, except maybe there was something in special provisions that we didn't like, we wanted removed. Okay, so I get back page 5 corrected, but I still have the original contract and I want to put it all back together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm basically going to say, here's the offer docs original, and that's going to be 1 through 4, comma, 6 through 10. Okay, so actually I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 1 through 4 as one document, and then I'm going to add a document, and I'm going to call that, let's see, pages 1 through 4, or offer docs, and let's do original, or offer docs, original, and this is going to be 6 through 10. Okay, so first I have to split this 10-page document up into 2 separate documents that include page 1 through 4 and pages 6 through 10, excuse me. Okay, so now I'm going to click on Save. Is not a valid, oh, sorry, I didn't put in the actual page range here. Page range. So you can see 1 through 4, 6 through 10. Let me click on Save. And now when we go back into the envelope, you'll see we have all of the original documents, and yet now we have a PDF of 1 through 4 and a PDF of 6 through 10. Now let's just say that the agent emailed over the corrected page 5, okay? We're just going to pretend like this, actually let me just upload it. So I've gotten it back. I need to upload a document from my computer. Let's just say it's a single page 5 document. Let me just pull something out of a previous listing. And let's just say, okay, here's an example of an amendment, but let's just say this was the corrected page 5. All right, so I would pull that in. Well, now I've got pages 1 through 4, 6 through 10, and then I've got, this is our test page 5, if you will. So I went through, I split the 1 to 4 into 2 pieces. I've now gotten the updated page 5. Well, now I need to combine these back into one document so it doesn't look weird when I send it off to my client for signatures. So now I can combine these documents. First I split them. Now I'm going to combine them. So I'm going to click on the 3 documents that I want to combine. And then I'm going to come up here and click on the Combine button. It's at the very top here in our toolbar. So when I do that, it's going to say, hey, you have the ability to reorder these documents if you'd like. Well, I certainly don't want to send my client page 5 and then 1 through 4 and then 6 through 10. So I can actually click on this file, drag it down, and so now I have 1 through 4. I have the corrected page 5, and then I have 6 through 10. Now I can call this Offer Docs on 123 Main Street. And this is going to create a new file that now has all 10 pages, right? And yet they're all in order and they are correct. So here's Offer Docs on 123 Main Street. If we click on it, we can see 1, 2, 3, and 4 were the original. Here's our sample page 5 that got corrected. And then we have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? So it's a great way to be able to, if you get documents in and you need to change one, or sometimes, you know, you get a document that you need to split up. It's an executed contract, and yet it's all one contract, and we know we can't upload one massive contract into our Documents tab and Opportunities. So we would want to have to come in here, and let's just say that this, again, using the same example, was our massive contract with all of our addenda and everything else. We would right click, we would split, and then we would go through and just start adding the documents. So here's the family 1 to 4, for example, and we would put a page range in. Here's our third party financing, and we would put what page that one was. Here is our non-realty items addendum. We would put page 5, right? And so you're basically going through and titling each one of these documents. And then let's see, the last one would be, maybe it's the Mud District form. And that's page 6. Okay, so I've now split this 10-page document up into 4 separate documents, each one having its own title. When I do that, I can click on Save. And my room documents updates, and now you can see, right, I have all those documents that I just created. So here's the family 1 to 4, here's the Mud District form, here's the non-realty, here's the third-party financing. The reason this is important is now when I go back into Command and I need to start adding things in, right, here's my under contract. I want to find the fully executed contract. So here it is. I would click on Add a File. I would click on DocuSign, and now I can see all of the documents that are in my room. So I would just click on Family 1 to 4 and assign that one there. And then I can go next. Okay, so I need the third-party financing. So I would just scroll down until I found that document. And let's just keep going down. I think it's here towards the bottom. Third-party financing, I would click on DocuSign. I'm going to go down until I find that document. There's third-party financing. I click on Assign. And so you can see this is a great way to really easily manage the documents that you need to put in your placeholders by splitting and sometimes having to combine documents within DocuSign via KW Command. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic Friday and look forward to an amazing weekend. And as always, I will look forward to speaking with you tomorrow. Thanks so much for your time.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Marty Miller. That was great. So more things you can do with DocuSign. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about folder level messaging and using the @ symbol to cause notifications. That sounds intriguing. So we'll see you on that class tomorrow. We have a DocuSign class today at 11 o'clock. So please be on that. And with that, we'll see you next time. Enjoy your day. Oh. Bye-bye.